Well, hello there. Yeah, if you don't know where that's from, you're weird. Well, hello there. How are you? Welcome back to the vlog. Today on the vlog, I would like to discuss a little thing called women. No, yeah, I'm talking about women today. Okay, is that all right? I know I'm not a woman, and I know nowadays people get a little frustrated when, okay, how can I say this? Nowadays, people get a little frustrated when people discuss things that are outside of their gender. You know what I mean? I know I should only discuss things that concern my gender, and I get that, but unfortunately, I don't have a lot of experience with men. Okay, that's not my forte. Uh, you know, I like women. I deal with women a lot. I know a lot about women. So, I wish that the society didn't make it so hard or make it so disgusting for a man to have more than one woman, um, especially if all parties agree, because I think a lot of people will be a lot more happy. You know, I think there is a big group of people who should just be with one person, but I don't think, because America is a melting pot of all types of cultures. And especially amongst the slaves who don't even know what culture they originated from, who don't even know how to properly please the cravings of their blood, the cravings of their soul. They don't really know what they're supposed to do because they're slaves. They've been following somebody else's culture since what? For fucking 10 generations at least? What, 5 generations? What? So, and I was thinking about that because, like, well, I have two families, technically, right? I have kids with my baby mother, regardless of the situation. She's still the mother of my child, and I know as much as she wants to hate me, as much as she was wrong for what she did to me, all that, I know that she still wants to be my woman. I know that. hmm That has a lot to do with why she does what she does to me, because she wants me to be with her. And then, of course, I have my wife and we have kids together. And I just wish that I didn't have to look at it like, oh, I have two families. Because in reality is I have one family. Like my great grandfather, he was one of those old school cats. My boy had hella families. But, great grandma was his home, I guess. I don't know. He was always there. But I wonder if it hurt him too, not being able to have just one family, not being able to have everybody that he loved and cared about with him at once. That kind of sucks, because as a man, like, women have their own dreams, women have dreams of whatever they may dream, whether it's princess dreams, whether it's, oh, I want a man to be obsessed with me, I want only one man, or I want a tall, women have their dreams. Well, men have dreams too. And as a little boy, as a man, I think a lot of men dream to take care of a lot of women, a lot of children. I think as a man, it might be honorable. It may be, I don't know. It's just something about it. I haven't even really put words together for it because I'm just freestyling this shit like I do best. But I mean, if you're a man and you've had the same dreams that I've had, then you know what I'm saying. If you haven't had those dreams, that's fine too. I'm not saying every man has these dreams. I'm saying that there are a lot of men. I'm not, like, I know a lot of the homies who, like, we not deadbeats, you know what I'm saying? But we like women. I don't think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't know. If we're given the opportunity to take care of our responsibilities, and we actually take care of our responsibilities, then there shouldn't be a problem with that. I think governments and society should mind their fucking business. They shouldn't put a stigma on people. They shouldn't force people to obey by a certain construct, otherwise be labeled disgust and disgraceful. I think that's bullshit, especially in a place like America. I think America needs something a little bit more open-minded, if you will, considering all of the shit that's going on here, with freedom and everything. I mean, when you have freedom, it's kind of contradictory to have like a social norm. Social norms and freedoms are kind of, not all of them. I mean, some social norms, you need them, thank you, no thank you, excuse me, but it's like being forced to live against your natural desires, as long as they're not harming anybody else, shouldn't be disgraceful or looked down upon. You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. Because I know a lot of women would be, how can I say this? A lot of women would be more willing to be a part of families because they know they want to, but it's just like women are very big on how they're perceived. They're very big on, they're very easily embarrassed, easily ashamed. A lady in the streets and a freak in a bed, I don't think that was a phrase created by a man. I think that was a phrase created by the character of a woman who naturally exhibits that, especially back in the day. I would say the images that you see of women in history, like, it's always very pretty and very, covered up and very girly, but the bitch got 8 kids. So she's sucking something. She's sucking a lot of something. She does a good job at it, clearly. So she's not as innocent as she portrays. I don't know. That's just something I was thinking about. Another thing, too, since we're talking about women and shit, and like how they're easily embarrassed. A lot of women that I've interacted with, because all women are not the same. Did you know that? Okay. Make sure you remember that, because nowadays people get very offended when you try to put them in one group. So you have to be careful. Okay. Everybody needs their own group. Everybody gets their own square. Everybody stand in your square. Okay, here we go. So, all the women in the blue square, they typically, I don't know, I guess I'm not gonna really like explain or give no deep thought to women's behavior. That's not really what I do. I just want to point out some things that I notice. So, and I just think they're kind of like, they're a lot different from how I would handle a situation, right? And so I noticed that women on the blue square, they typically say the opposite of how they feel, which is hard for a person like me, because where I come from, no means no. So if somebody's telling me no and they mean yes, you know what I mean? I'm not going to move forward with you feeling like a rapist. I'm sorry. I'm not going to do it. Can't help you there, buddy. Sorry. Gotta go. But, yeah, there's that. Women like to say the opposite. And you know what else? A lot of women on the blue square, only the women on the blue square, I feel like the reason why women don't approach guys, or, the reason why women, like, you ever notice when a woman starts problems to break up with you, or it's not the same as when a woman cheats on you and leaves you or is just using you for your money. Not those type of women. Those are the women on the red square. But the women are on the blue square, where it seems like she really loves you and it seems like she really wants you, but for some reason she's pushing you away. When a woman's pushing you away and it seems like she's trying her hardest to fucking make herself hate you. Those women? Those women, I think, feel like they don't deserve you, or feel like they're making your life worse, And so those women are actually trying to do you a favor by taking themselves out of your life. That's just a theory. Because I've met a lot of those women, and they never really want to leave. Although they're always pushing you away. They always keep you at a distance. But yet, if you try to leave, they start crying and shit, start acting all crazy and shit. But yeah, I was thinking on the drive here, I was like, there's nothing more lost than a little girl without a father, because even more so than a little boy without a father, because a little boy without a father, see, boys have this natural ability to find meaning in the world, to find meaning in their self through the world, right? They know how to fucking rationalize things. Eventually, I think every boy, it may be a dumbass rationalization, but every boy becomes a man, and they start to create a place for them in the world mentally. But that woman is lost without her father's ability to rationalize, without her father's ability to create a position for her. She has no idea where she belongs, where she should go, what she wants to eat. She has no idea. And it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. And on top of that, those type of women, only the women on the blue square. Remember, I'm only talking about a specific type of women. I'm not talking about all women. If you're standing on the blue square, please raise your hand. Those type of women are attracted to dominant men. Very dominant men, like zero tolerance men, like me. Those type of women are attracted to zero tolerance men, like nigga. But they fight it every step of the way. They're afraid to be dominated, but yet instinctively they know that that's what they're missing. They know that that's what they need. But when they get it, it's kind of like, because it puts them in a vulnerable position, honestly. That's what it is. And a lot of women on the blue square are not ready to be in a vulnerable position. They're not ready to face their fears. Everybody can't swim on their back because niggas be scared. In order to swim on your back, you gotta trust the water. And it's hard to trust the water when you ain't never had a daddy to teach you how to swim. Niggas need daddies out here, man. Daddies are important, man. Let's talk about daddies. Daddies are fucking important. I was listening to this story the other day ago about, like how things happen in Chicago. Like a kid could get a new bike for Christmas and he'd be riding down the street in my 6'4", riding his bike, and a bigger kid will come and take his bike, and then the kid that got his bike taken will see another little girl on his bike, and now it's like, I gotta get my lick back. And the shit go back and forth until they grown, and somebody end up dying, or a lot of people end up dying. It's just, she was basically telling me that, like, a lot of the beef in Chicago, or not a lot of it, but there's a good portion of bullshit, death, crime, violence that occurs in the streets of Chicago, that all started from like childhood bullshit. And I think that all could have been avoided if there was a fucking father around, because check it out. My kid get his bike stolen, come back to the house crying because some big ass niggas didn't beat him up. We outside every day, all day, alert. Eyes open, head up, chin out, where them niggas at? Nah, but when we see them niggas, you know what I'm saying? We gonna have a talking. Shit gonna get handled. The shit don't need to transpire for 15 years. Where's my bike, And if you don't got my bike, where my money? Matter of fact, where your mom at, little nigga? Like, why is you out here beating up little kids for their bikes? Is you crazy? Are you dumb? Are you out of your mind? But who knows? Doing shit like that might get me killed because little niggas out here like to shoot. But at the end of, like, honestly though, as a father, you know what I mean? That shit don't faze me none. So I'm ready to die. You know what I'm talking about? That's what a father's job is. to go out there and be like, I'm here. What you want to do? I don't know. I really want to be a father. Like, that's really like my main goal. I try my hardest to keep myself alive, keep myself sane, keep myself out of jail, so that way I can be a father. That's the only thing that matters. A father to my children that I create, and a father to the world. Because I feel like the world needs a father, and who's better to do it than me? I mean, I know nothing else. Honestly, I've been a father my whole life. Believe it or not, I was born to be a father. Your father. You can call me Dada, if you will. Dada. Yeah, daddies. Daddies is crazy because I ain't never had a daddy. Now, look, let me give the nigga some props because I do have a stepdaddy. And knowing what I know now, you got to give a man some props for what he did. You know what I'm saying? Because I couldn't have did what he did, especially for no woman like my mama. I would have beat my mama up. I don't know if my stepdaddy beat my mama up. I know there was some domestic violence, but I think it was more verbal than anything. Like, I think he was trying to like keep her away from her family type shit. Knowing what I know about my mama, I would have whooped her ass my damn self. So I commend the nigga for doing what he did, you know, because I'm not his, and like he, you know, you couldn't tell him otherwise. I don't think that that's the best way to go about raising some kids that ain't yours, but I don't know, more power to you. It could have been worse. You feel me? He could have been a lot worse, so I'll give him that. I don't claim him as my daddy because he ain't my daddy. After being a daddy to my boys, I would never want to fucking play daddy to nobody's kids. That shit's disrespectful. So I would never tell him that he's my father. He will never be my father. And I don't think that takes any type of respect from him. That's just giving the respect to myself and to my true father. There was a man who came in my mother. There is a man's nutsack that I came from. I'm not fatherless. I just don't know who he is. But I do have one. And you're not him, buddy. Sorry, I didn't come from your nuts. That ain't it. But I respect you, my nigga. You did that. You know what I'm saying? You did that. You a good dude. You know what I'm saying? But what's next? Oh, I was saying that, I never really had a daddy other than the stepdad. So trying to be a daddy is kind of like crazy because how do you be something you ain't never seen? How do you be something you don't even know if it exists? It's like a unicorn type shit. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's just something you hear about in stories and fairy tales, like a father. It's mystical. So it's like I try to remind myself that it's like being a unicorn because it's hard. It's hard, and I don't really know what the fuck I'm doing. I don't. But why should I know what the fuck I'm doing? You know what I'm saying? Like people say there ain't no rules to it, but first of all, if you have a father, then you have some guidelines. You may not have rules. Excuse me. Because the reality is there's no rules to life. The law is just something that people agree upon. There's no rules. Rules are fucking an imaginary concept that we just follow because we feel like it benefits us as a whole. There's no rules. But if you have a father, then you have some type of image that you can either build upon or destroy or whatever. If you don't have a father, then you don't have an image. And so where do you start from? I think a lot of women should be more empathetic towards that. Because I think a lot of women are attracted to fatherless men, but yet they expect them to act like fathered men. Like, you can't expect me to act like a fathered man when I've been a fatherless man. Like, I don't know, but you're attracted to me. You're not attracted to me because, I act civilized. You're attracted to me because there's a part deep down inside of me that can blow up at any moment because I never learned how to control myself because I never had a father to teach me. And I don't know how to teach myself, so I just suppress it with drugs and alcohol and sex. And so you come into my life, you become a big part of my life as my woman. You become very important to me emotionally. You become the most vulnerable part of my motherfucking life, and you pick on me and you fuck with me, and then you expect me not to react like a bastard when that's all I've ever been. I've tried my hardest to be a civilized bastard, but the reality is I'm just a fucking bastard. I am just a fatherless man. And how dare you expect anything more than that? You knew that when you got with me. If you wanted a fathered man, then why didn't you go find one? It's ridiculous. I don't know. I've just been thinking about relationships lately, and I finally have a way to talk about relationships without necessarily putting my relationship on blast. I can just talk about it like as a third person. You know, I can just take myself out of it and just talk about it like I'm telling a story. It could be anybody's story. And so that feels good. I'm glad I finally figured that out because I have a lot of relationship experience. I feel like I'm one of the best when it comes to like relationship experience because a lot of people that I hear, they don't know what they're talking about. The shit that they're talking about wouldn't work on a wide scale because people are so diverse. Everybody is different, and there's not a lot of things that work universally for all people. There's not a lot. There's very few. And so when people ask these absolute questions like, how do you get a woman? How do you keep a man? What's a good man? Like these absolute questions are retarded and a waste of time because they don't mean anything. Like on the platform they're speaking from, they don't mean anything. If they were talking amongst their family members, then those would be valid questions. But they're not. They're talking to the fucking world. They're talking to countries and cities and states. They're talking to thousands and millions of people talking about what is a good man. You're fucking up millions of people's brains because what's good for you is not good for me. And what's good for him is not good for her. The shit's not universal, and you need to fucking stop. And stop making these people believe that you know anything about relationships or being intimate with humans because you don't. Clearly you don't, because you don't have enough experience to know that you don't know anything. I don't even know. Listen, I don't know everything about all humans. I only know about the people that I've interacted with. Now, granted, I've interacted with a lot of people, but out of all the people that I've interacted with, let's say I interacted with 100 people in my whole life. If I have to do a percentage out of 100, I've only been intimate with one person. You know what I'm saying? Maybe two. And that means a lot, you know, because when you're intimate with somebody, that's when you really get to know somebody, whether that person is a friend or not. But when you build that intimate bond, that's how you really get to know somebody. Like if you don't know when a person is lying or telling the truth, you don't know that person. So therefore, you know, you really didn't get to experience that character. So you really can't judge that character. You don't know what's good for that character. If you don't know when that character is happy, sad, lying, telling the truth. You feel me? If you can't call that character out on this bullshit, you don't know nothing. Majority of these people don't know nothing. And they just be talking to make some money, and it's not right because they fucking up the world. The world is already fucked up enough, man. More people should be trying to help and make things better instead of just trying to make more money. That shit needs to stop. Everybody just needs to stop making money. That's enough. That's enough. You guys need to sit the fuck down and stop. That is enough. How much do you need? Really. And it's not even about the greed, but think about it in this sense. You're going out to get resources. You have more resources than you could use in your lifetime times 3. Why are you still going out to get resources? What's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? Save some resources for us. I want resources too. Why are you trying to hoard all the fucking resources? What is that going to do for you? What are you going to do with it when you're dead? Are you fucking nuts? So we all have to suffer because you're dumb? That's crazy. That's crazy that I have to suffer because you want to be stupid. I refuse. Now, I'm going to at least try to go get some resources. Hopefully, I don't get killed on the way, but that's the risk you got to take as a man. You know, when you go hunting, there's a possibility you might be hunted. That's just how it is. That's just how it is, you know. All right, this is almost over, so we did good. It's another one in the books. I'm about to actually make another video because I got some shit to do tomorrow. So, thanks for hollering at me, my boy. My boy. My boy.